everyone, my name is Susan McGee and I will be your instructor for electronic publishing online. So before I get any further into my introduction, I just want to point out that over here you might have seen that it said digital publishing. I switched it back to electronic. I really use these terms interchangeably. Digital is actually more of the modern term, and electronic seems to be considered more of a layman's term. But digital seems to encompass more of what we talk about when we talk about our digital tools and all that. So really, we're going to change it to digital. It'll probably be done by next fall. So I do use those terms interchangeably, and you should feel free to do that as well. So we have a very general definition. It really is publishing in which information is distributed by means of a computer network or is produced in a format to use with a computer. That's so general, right? And now it's not just with a computer, but with devices. And so let's look at the better definition, and that comes from Techopedia. So it's ebook publishing, where there's digital versions of authored books are distributed through e-reader designs like the Kindle or the Nook. There are also a range of digital magazines and publication over the internet or web published to computers or mobile devices. But really, electronic publishing is absolutely anything that would have once been available just in print and now is available online in a digital format, through a device, through your regular computer. And these electronic documents come in many forms. Like there's EPUB, PDF, which we'll get into a little bit more, HTML. And really, it's really any information that people are now consuming electronically or digitally. So it could be an email, it could be a newsletter, it could be an online brochure, it could be a book or magazine. And that's really where we are going to start looking at electronic publishing from the lens of these two very big publishing industries, book publishing and magazine publishing. And really what we're considering are more of like the hybrids. So, I mean, they're really, I don't know if there's really any publisher left who doesn't have print books and a digital or online counterpart. So these two giant industries really are hybrid. They're print and they are online. Although you do see magazine publishers who just have online versions or digital versions of their publication. But the norm is that it is hybrid. They do both print and they do both electronic or digital versions. So we're going to start looking at these two industries through the lens of technology disruption. And if obviously any of you have been through like a standard, mass media course, everybody always talks about, technology has always driven disruption and evolution in the print, book, news, magazine industries. And of course, the ground zero would be the printing press. And that's probably the earliest example of technology disruption that occurred in the publishing world. And it's been through quite a bit more. And so we'll be looking at how that technology disrupts these industries, and then how these industries recover from the disruption and how they adapt. So one good example that I think everybody can relate to is the music industry, because music is published. So the music industry is a giant publisher. And obviously we all know, 20 years ago when Napster came out and people could illegally download music, and that was the first technology disruption to the music industry. And the music industry really went pretty haywire for a good long time until pretty recently it seems to have stabilized through streaming. So that was a really big disruption to how music is delivered, how music is consumed and how people pay for it and how artists and the publishers themselves are paid. So that's pretty much that's a really blatant example of an industry that was really upended by technology. And we'll look at how book publishing and magazine publishing have gone through kind of the same thing, maybe not as dramatically for the book publishing industry, but certainly very dramatically for the magazine industry. And so we'll be looking at those kinds of issues in the beginning of the course.